Wait, yo.
You ready? Tell me.
Alright.
Vanga party, yo. C'est quoi, the propaganda arm of our party, c'est quoi, the propaganda arm of our party, c'est quoi.
Reactionary tendencies. Reactionary tendencies.
So Poaka.
Yo. Vanga party, yo. Vanga party, yo. Tomorrow. Vanga party, tomorrow. Vanga party, tomorrow.
Down, Playboy Prince down. Down, Playboy Prince down. Down, Playboy Prince down. Yo, you're not giving people money, yo.
Comrades, there's emergency press engagement is to deal with multiple contradictions in the space, basically targeting last night, firstly media appearance by the Minister of Finance that continue to consistently intellectualize the hunger in this country and the actual poverty in the land, and refer to and speak in passing on the government reckless dehumanization of the Liberian masses by basically displaying Liberian citizens.
Reactionary tendency. Emptiness, yo.
At the Satan community, we've come here to categorically condemn out of recklessness that was exhibited in Satan. We believe that the masses, the Liberian masses, on the quote-unquote rescue mission or rescue agenda, do not deserve the kind of embarrassment that they continue to consistently experience on the Boyka's administration. No government will treat its citizens as third-class individuals. No government will unrob, gang rob its citizens overnight while families are sleeping, and the government carry armed men to demolish people whom while they are in bed. That is a form of gangsterism and a broad-day administrative armed robbery. The government of Joseph Boyka is displaying what we call total administrative neglect and a pasteurization of arrogance against the people of this country. We call on every civil society organization, progressive forces in the land, to rally effort with the masses in Satan community. We are calling on Liberians in their large to see this complete act of administrative gangsterism as a form of embarrassment and a betrayal to the Boyka's administration, quote-unquote, rescue agenda for inclusive development that have been proposed to the Liberian people. A government akin to protect the people of this country must not consistently put tears in their eyes. A government akin to protect the legacy of the poor, the downtrodden. This is a country that people cannot afford 1 square meal a day. Let's to talk about somebody how government should be there to protect the ordinary people, not the elite bourgeoisie. Our intelligence arms have revealed that the government has the day to the Ministry of Transport, while the outsourced Liberian workers for Lebanese was bribed with the 2.6 million to demonstrate the people in Satan community. The reasons for which they went there overnight was because they were paid by the Lebanese community. This is something.
Yo, reactionary tendency.
Abbas.
Reactionary tendency.
Abbas.
Making ourselves homeless.
Abbas.
Making ourselves homeless.
Abbas.
Yo. So respond to yo.
That was a reckless effort from the government of Liberia. The government of Joseph Boakai yesterday, they were selling coal all around here or Katumu Boakai to get food to eat. It's the one today displacing people in this country. That is not something you call the rule of law. That is not executing the court order or the court mandate. That is reckless bavardosing from the government of Liberia. Only because they think they have state mercenaries to disabuse power and abuse the masses in this country. It is wrong to condemn that actions and stay in solidarity with the people in Satan. A couple of days from now, we'll be going there to place our women requests and solidarity with the masses on our side, to tell them that the party is in support of their struggle, whether it can be the petition of the legislature, the fight at the Supreme Court, or the court system in this country. Whatever political actions the people of Satan will take, the party is in support of them, the party is in solidarity, and we in the coming days will go to them to express these two actions. We will challenge the Boakai's administration along with the people in Satan to tell them that we cannot continue to sit quiet while the government continue to consistently abuse the people of this country. You cannot do that. Again, there are reckless efforts.
Reckless lawmaker. Reckless lawmaker. Bristol. Bristol. Yo. We get you the masses. Yo.
You got one lawmaker calling himself Prince Toe. Amen. Only thing you know how to do, like the RG of police, is to bust his leg. Prince Toe is concerned basically on how Hanson gets every day, then how he's staying in the interest of his people, his constituents, that he claims to represent. This is a man that every day, his biggest achievement is if he marched Kuala to go at the legislature to just bluff. Since he entered the legislature, he has proffered no argument, no bill, yet then stay. His responsibility of oversight in his district cannot be exhibited to prioritize the welfare and the well-being of the people. But like we said, the party in the coming days will visit the Satan community, and the chairman will respond to Mr. Prince Toe in a way that the people will understand are super serious and super in solidarity with the people on that side. We are coming here today to make this announcement because we think that the government must not be doing these things, must not be displacing people at this time where we already have a mixed climate reactions. Got people on the street now, you make people homeless. People that were thinking about paying their children's school fees will not be thinking about paying their children's school fees anymore. They'll be thinking about how to get places to sleep for the accommodation. This is not what we should be talking about at this time. Every government that came in this kind of a struggling economy, but first they think about the welfare of its citizens rather than protecting greater power or greater privileges against the ordinary people. What the government did is something that will be paid for. The people of this country are watching them. They can continue in their arrogance. Again, we see little effort on quote-unquote demolition in
the establishment of natural justice and fair hearings, rather than land, urban planning, and human rights law. Our prayer really us. In view of the foregoing, we humbly pray to our office to investigate the situation surrounding the demolition. Declare the demolition unlawful and accountable or individual adequate compensation for all the affected property owners. Provide resettlement or resolution where applicable. Prevent further demolition without due process. Conclusion. We trust in our office clear. We trust in our office commitment to justice, the rule of law, and the protection of citizen rights. We therefore respectfully request the urgent interventions in this matter. We remain law-abiding citizens and are prepared to provide any additional documentation to testify our claim for the summit. Thank you. My name is Rose Abdoyan.
Thank you. Because of the town, we are parliament for the transition review. One of which is the issue. It's called the Union event, and we are yet to put the president.
So can you please be audible? What's your name?
I'm Honorable Vani from Commissioner District 1, co-chair on criminal petition. The issue came before us, and the reason why the speaker went there yesterday, we informed the speaker through the chairman that she go there in one of our police district. And we make sure that they back to the parliament today, the discussion will start, and we'll get back to you, make sure that you're aware with the SSR according to the law.
I'm part of government. Want to exercise eminent domain, there are steps to follow to exercise so that we take those, those places. If the places are not for them, there are also steps to follow. Even if someone is on your land illegally, they restore some dignity. Don't just jack them off and remove them from the barrier. Today is the last day. And so I brought this letter on the floor so that we would call those people involved, from the security apparatus. I understand this is a sensitive issue. And so I wasn't requesting that they come in plenary for open plenary. Call them, we run on committees in this house. Call them in committee room. Just understand the plight of our people is very essential. And to just dismiss it, that I'm so disappointed. I'm very disappointed. And I just spoke with the speaker. He's going to correct whatever mistake he made and make sure the dignity, of our people is restored.
Did he give you any reason how he intend to correct?
It's a sensitive matter, I understand, but it shouldn't have gone the way it went. Give us the opportunity to speak, especially when you represent people. People carry different narratives. And I've been having a couple of meetings. And because, I'm not going to the press or not saying anything, so they say like, oh, she doesn't care for her. But when it comes here, we represent these people. Their plight is to be spoken on. And that's how we're trying to do. But I hope we will correct the situation and make sure, some dignity is restored.
Thank you so much.
Tomorrow, we can say one of you.
You know what I feel? But you don't know.
But why is that doing?
Thought on the issue of the threshold bill that was passed recently, and then a motion of reconsideration was taken by one of our colleagues, which sparked heated debate around here. On the 9th of December 2025, the House of Representatives passed on this bill and sent it to the Senate for concurrence. This bill was crafted following the submission of the 2022 census result, which puts Liberia's population at around 5.2 million plus. And this submission was done to satisfy the constitutional requirements that are enshrined in Articles 80D and 80E. In 80D, it says each constituency shall have an approximately equal population of 20,000 or such number of citizens as the legislature shall prescribe in keeping with population growth, a movement as reviewed by the National Census.
It's Magella Cooper. I'm the Senior Political Advisor to His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia. But I also happen to be the spouse of the Speaker.
The example of our President, His Excellency Joseph Boakai. This is why we are here. Let me be on record. This is the national actor of Republic of Liberia that is the nucleus of Liberia. Everything that Liberia needs to reflect on the historicity how Liberia was built, we have it here. But the central government has forgotten about it. And we will continue while who will speak. Mercy. In a while we're here.
Coming from the executive.
I say, I don't know why the president chose to think about football academy right after the exit of the footballing president. President Boakai had never, I don't think he even played in elementary school. To sit and decide that you're going to play a football academy, something that was being done by President Weah, who is celebrated around the world as who is celebrated in Africa. We think that is a serious challenge. That's a serious challenge. Everyone should watch that, because if this woman go ahead and build a football academy, and when he background in football after the exit of the football president, that clearly speaks to the fact that football was not a priority on George Weah.
A LOTE approved by the legislature. If you spend $10 million on a government project, which institution funded it? It also lends credence to some of the things people have said, that some of the money hitting the budget. For example, they're spending $1 million for Foya Hospital. What's the population of Foya? $1 million for Foya Hospital, but there are more people in Basso. There are more people in Magidi. So how do you allot money? There's a lot more money being spent for Kolahun Hospital. And there is also money being spent for Current Hospital in Zozo. So this year's budget spending almost $2 million on hospitals in Foya. Are they getting those money, in Lofa, are they getting those money to go back for it and spend on other projects?
Amrekun, distinguished colleagues, I want to say good morning to every one of you, and thank God that we're in 2026. This is a very pleasant morning. All we can say, we want to tell God thank you for life. He has given us another breathing space. However, I am reminded of the conversation that was in the chat room yesterday, where the speaker validated that Cecilia Bokun is his biological sister. That leads us to the fact that Richard Kun, at this point in time, you should recuse yourself, that you have committed crime under our marital law, the domestic law of this republic, that incest is a crime. So until we get reasons why you marry your sister, I think you have lost legitimacy to preside as speaker. So it is just the right thing for you to recuse yourself. And one thing, there are a lot of colleagues calling me and say, you're from the fanatical blood, they fire, you're not supposed to be commenting, you're not supposed to be talking. There is not a no damn blood thing that we're talking about. We are talking about the credibility, the image of the house that represents every one of us, the legislature as a body. Do you know what happened? That a woman is claiming that she got a marriage divorce certificate from the Civil Law Court. The reputation of our judiciary is placed on a question. Now the executive is also placed on a question. The legislature is placed on a question. And the lives and the status of our Liberian brothers and sisters in the United States of America now being in danger. This is a grave allegation. I'm hoping that
our dear speaker can do the right thing. I'm not talking about removal of Richard Kun. I'm only saying he should recuse himself because they are also saying the woman fake document and blah, 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 blah. In the state of Delaware, you did marriage, and then now we have credible information. The documents will be available today that, pictorial evidences will be out that you did marry and you exhibited acts of husband and wife. And if those papers are provided today from now to 12 o'clock, I think Richard Kun will not be speaker anymore.
Now, what is the big news?
The big news in the corridor. Are you both planning to remove the speaker?
But this is not a speaker house.
Are you one of those?
This place is not a speaker office. It's not a personal property. It's not anybody's personal property. Anybody who falls below the belt in terms of legislative proceedings and or requirement, obviously it behooves the members to ask you to step aside.
Do you want the speaker out?
I'm saying to you now, if you perform below the belt, it behooves the members to say step aside.
Is the speaker performing below the belt?
No, he's performing.
Okay, so
he's
you don't want
performing.
him out.
No, I don't want. It's not. I don't want him out. I'm saying he's performing until it is proven beyond all reasonable doubt that that speaker have done this, has done this, has done this, that required for us to remove him. Obviously, we remove him.
So here is my promise to you, not as a politician, but as a Liberian who lost this country with everything I have. CMC will end corruption, not reduce it, not manage it, end it. CMC will create jobs, real jobs, jobs that let you provide for your family with dignity. CMC will build roads that connect our farmers to markets, roads that connect our children to school. CMC will put medicine in hospitals, so no mother ever has to watch her child suffer because some politicians stole the health budget.
I can't stand no more, cause I'm a fool. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. I can't stand no more, cause I'm a fool. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. Hey yo, excuse me Mr. Journalist, I wonder how you make your headlines in the press release today. Although I read the news every day, but I'm really still getting confused now, and I just wanna ask you some questions. Oh, is it based on money? Is it based on presidency? Is it based on technology? Is it based on war? Tell me, we got major headlines. Oh, we got major story. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. We got major story. There is no job, no money for hustlers. Come take up coverage, the rainy season coming soon. In the ghetto, all the houses are full of leakage, nowhere to sleep. Come and see the widow, living in the street with her children. Since the daddy went to war to fight, he never lived to see them. The children have no shelter, oh, children have no education. The children have no one to call their friend, the children have no food to eat. We got major headlines. Oh, we got major stories. Hey, yo. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. Major headlines. We got major stories. Major stories. There is no
headlines and major stories here tonight. Let me say a pleasant good evening from Liberia. And welcome to the Round Table. The Round Table is a fascinating talk show that talks about the issues that matter the most of our country, Liberia. And tonight we are very unfortunate to not have James on the program. James is usually here with us to have a wonderful conversation. So my name is William McGill and I'm your host. Let me send out a speedy recovery to Mr. Samuel Abu. He's not feeling well. We hope and pray that Mr. Abu can come on speedily and basically be able to join us as soon as possible on the shore. So, what are things we are going to talk about on the program here tonight? Basically, we want to look at some great things. We will be looking at the issue there in Madam Priscilla Cooper District, the police academy, that's 72nd belt, and the barrack there being having schools of residents being asked to vacate the premises.
I can't stand no more, 'cause no more food.
Sorry for that. And the government, through the Ministry of Defense, have asked those people to basically vacate the premises. Okay. Sorry, I can't. Light fell off, right? And that's one aspect we're gonna look at. We're gonna play some clips from that scene where there was different kind of conversations and different information being given. We will talk about that, but and then also look into how the situation is going. Also looking at the worth of property there. We also take a look at the demolition process in Satan, right? And there's a lot. But let's bring Madam Priscilla Cooper, and once we bring that, we'll talk about her district situation, and then we can flow ahead.
Exercise eminent domain, there are steps to follow to exercise so that we take those places. If the places are not for them, there are also steps to follow. Even if someone is on your land illegally, they restore some dignity. Don't just jack them off and remove them from the barrier. Today is the last day, and so I brought this letter on the floor so that we would call those people involved, from the security apparatus. I understand this is a sensitive issue, and so I wasn't requesting that they come in plenary for open plenary. Call them. We run on committees in this house. Call them in committee room. Let's understand the plight of our people is very essential. And to just dismiss it, that I'm so disappointed. I'm very disappointed. And I just spoke with the speaker. He's going to correct whatever mistake he made and make sure the dignity, of our people is restored.
Did he give you any reason how he intend to correct?
It's a sensitive matter, I understand, but it shouldn't have gone the way it went. Give us the opportunity to speak, especially when you represent people. People carry different narratives. And I've been having a couple of meetings. And because, I'm not going to the press or not saying anything, so they say like, oh, she doesn't care for her. But when it comes here, we represent these people. Their plight is to be spoken on, and that's what we're trying to do. But I hope we will correct the situation and make sure, some dignity is restored.
Thank you so much.
So that's exactly Madam Priscilla Cooper there, and on today. She sent a communication on the floor, asking for the situation, the intervention of plenary, and the situation is happening in her village, not her village, but her district, sorry. So we just stumbled on this information coming in. That's the reason why we got caught up about the wayside. So let's quickly bring you this information coming our way, and we can go ahead to bring you some other things before we dive into the situation there. And we are getting information that let me come on here gradually. Okay. Well, I can see this photograph. Okay, so we are getting information that the son of Mohammed Safal al-Sa Gaddafi, the son of former Libyan leader Mohammed Gaddafi, has been killed, and Zenta, the 53-year-old former presidential candidate, was shot dead under mysterious circumstances, according to a report from Al Jazeera. So that's the information we are getting right now, and it's a report coming in from Al Jazeera, and we see that, you know, Libyan former president, who was also the late Mohammed Gaddafi's son, Saad al-Assam Gaddafi, has been killed, you know, under mysterious circumstances. So that's exactly what is happening right now in Libya, and we just want to reach the family of the former leader, the former Libyan leaders, and his son, relatives, and whoever that are close to the family. Our heartfelt condolence. So now, right, of recent, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had members of the armed forces of Liberia, and they went out to the barrack, and that's exactly the 72nd bill, right? And basically, these guys have been doing their utmost best for that country, Liberia. Again, we saw that they started to barricade the barrack. When we went there to handle the conversation, the information that came out, it was exactly what it is today, that those people was being asked to literally leave the premises that belongs to the armed forces of Liberia. And then I don't know for how long, but we gather information, because I can say this, and I'll say this bluntly, right? In as much as is a security situation, we have faced some tense situation to be able to gather more information, because I don't think that they are trying to block us from getting the necessary information that we should get. But I think, is a security situation, and they also want to be skeptical as to how, nowadays, how our journalism is now, to allow everything, every person going in there, or everything from in there coming out, and not just coming out in the right way, but coming out in a way that will be portrayed somehow differently. Relatively calm scene when we were at the barricading of the area. We were there when the AFL went to barricade the place with razor wires, and things were as calm as not expected. As journalists, saying to say that we always, ask for a tense situation. And the thing is, like Madam Presilio said in this clip, that they've always, basically been in conversation and in close engagement and in close conversation with these people that are involved. It's a good thing, a very good one, showing your level of leadership, Now, you show level of leadership. We saw she was also in conversation with the guys there also, and basically there's a lot that has been happening with the situation. The thing I'm saying to say is that we basically feels that, you know, when we are asked to do certain thing, you know, like an ultimatum given you as a person, we as Liberians usually take that lightly. So we've gathered information that these people were being asked to leave the place in a year ago, or even or longer time. And then now that the AFL is coming, the first thing about this whole situation is that it was during the war that the place got very vulnerable, and most of the people used that to, you know, settle in the country. By law, everything in this country belongs to government, and whose government is us. We the people make the government. We paid our taxes. We go in the rain or sun to vote. In as much as we go there to vote for these people, it's also prudent enough that we are that basically not everything we should be able to take lightly. I'm saying this to say that now we've seen a lot of people from that situation are almost like being displaced. Like you've knew yourself, living your entire life. Imagine since the war, how many persons have lived their life at that area, raised their children. You know, that's the aspect. We shouldn't just solely rely on, you know, it's a vulnerable place or vulnerable situation, and we want to make a very great use of every vulnerable opportunity we find. You should also be able to understand that most of these things are things that are temporary, very temporary. So that's exactly how it goes. And you have a lot of businesses along that route. You have another huge investment from a place, I know, help yourself. Yeah, I guess it's help yourself. And the lady is not crying because her facility is also into the process. It's being labeled as a place that belongs to the armed forces of Liberia. And she's claiming that she bought the property from a family that have an original deed for the place. She also said that she invested over 500,000 United States dollars. 500,000 is $500,000. An investment that is also geared to national development in terms of infrastructure. When we talk about infrastructure, we are not talking about just government. When we talk about infrastructure development, we are not literally talking about just us as, it is. I've never met the leader in person, right? But again, the lawmaker is doing some frantic effort to be able to negotiate in the interest of these kinds of people, which makes a lot of sense. And I think that the lawmakers, the speaker himself, should be able to, rekindle and take her, letter for, some level of revision in the process. And I think that alone can be able to help the people that are sorely in need of that kind of opportunity. It's not just me saying opportunity, right? It's about looking at how much a person have invested, how much a person have taken into investment just to be able to help. That's one. One aspect is the infrastructure development of the area. Another aspect is the level of employment that facility gives to people. And families also depend on those people that have been employed through that opportunity. It's a military situation, we understand. And, we all understand how great it is for the government to be able to, take over these facilities and be able to, reconstruct some better structures for, our able men and women of the armed forces of Liberia. But again, that space is not just the only place that will stop whatever construction. It won't. And it's just been from one cry to another, from one cry to another, and from one cry to another. Yeah. From one to another. When I say this, I say that also in Satan, the residents of Satan had to petition lawmakers. They had to do that on today. Let me play this for you to listen to their petition, right? And it's a whole lots of cries and our people and the country, the economy, and how it is for people to be able to handle themselves and meeting something you're not really prepared for. Well, let's listen and then we can go ahead.
Establishment of natural justice and fair hearings, relative land, urban planning, and human rights law. Our prayer relief us up. In view of the foregoing, we humbly pray to our office to investigate the situation surrounding the demolition. Declare the demolition unlawful and wrongful, accountable or individual adequate compensation for all the affected property owners. Provide resettlement or resolution where applicable. Prevent further demolition without due process. Conclusion. We trust in our office commitment to justice, the rule of law, and the protection of citizen rights. We therefore respectfully request the urgent interventions in this matter. We remain law-abiding citizens and are prepared to provide any additional additional documentation to testify our claim for the summit. So, Martin William. Thank you. My name is Rose Abdul.
Thank you. Because of the town, we have the parliament to understand our position of you. One of which is the issue. Because you gave you the right, and we are yet to touch and put the president.
So can you please be audible? What's your name?
I'm Honorable Vani from Promisani District 1, co-chair on clean petition. The issue came before us, and the reason why the speaker went there yesterday, we informed the speaker through the chairman that she go there in one of our police district. And we'll make sure that they actually reach the parliament today. If it's going to start, and we'll get back to you, we'll make sure that you're well with the SSR according to position like law. I want to appreciate you for the calm money that you took to come to us. We'll also work in line with you to make sure that you're start doing that. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the peaceful manner you handle the situation. Most of you know that I also live and grow in Satan. I'm very astonished when our pastor has saw the area demolished. But your SSR patient will meet the speaker and make sure we intervene on your behalf. Make sure if the person has legal document, the property that they came to demolish, if that property demolished, definitely that will be another case. And when they run for the demolish your property, we'll make sure all damages are happy over there, all losses. The scene law will make them pay for it. So your SSR patient, try to make sure you put your people together, you wait for a response from the House of Representatives. The speaker, I'm very sure the speaker will make sure and set a committee to come in the community and verify the situation. Thank you for SSR peace in the community. Some communities are going to be violent. Yes. They are very unexpected for people to demolish property. So I thank you, I praise you for the level of patience your SSR. We'll make sure we stand by you to see into it that your interest is first on our agenda in the House of Parliament. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay, this is Representative Grant from Riverside County District number 1.
Please,
The Parliament is in Puerto Rico on a serious note, and the petition that I understood is that if you want to carry on demolition, there will be the level of due process.
Thank you.
You understand me? So we are your principal deputy. Thank you. So we will do everything possible to see how best that that situation, that the process that went on over there, will carry on proper investigation to understand where just taking from that carry on, a quick demolition with all the consent of the citizens that live in a residence. So we have just go and realize this communication is very paramount to us. We will do everything possible so that justice can be said.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, like you hear from the lawmakers as well, basically, that's exactly what's going on right now. We have people crying and basically uh, trying to be able to call on government officials, like you heard in the petition, over 7,000 persons there in Satan are basically going to be homeless, and you also have to process being carried on very, very unlawfully, according to them, without their notice. Some property that were being demolished, they do have legal documents. And sometimes, again, right, when we had to buy land, that's what I can say. Most of these agencies in our government are literally not really doing what they should be doing. It's now about time that we be able to strengthen these areas in government, that will be able to educate our people what to look for, features to look for, things to look for, that will sense some level of education, what and where and how to go about buying land legally. I'm being real. Most of our people who bought land in the past are literally, you know, not having it anymore. Like, I can say that. They literally bought land in the past. And most of those places, in recent times, one is around, the Catley Junction area. We saw demolition there last year. And not just that place. Not just. We've had several others. I think the LLA needs to do better, and they needs to be able to understand that you basically have to have some level of education for our people. And sometimes the whole land thing, you might think you do have the legitimate document to the place. You might think you are the legitimate owner of the place. But again, it may not be what you think. It won't be what you think. So we just want to say that most of our people who do even have these deeds are not educated as to what to look for on the deed or what to do. So, like, some years back, I followed a land case, and in that the people homes got demolished, but yet then still they claimed that they did have an original deed to the place, and the individual who got the place demolished, did encroach on their property. And in fact, they did bought their area from the legitimate family. So those are issues that we are literally faced with, that are also bringing about situation. Some people had their property, they had their original deeds, they left because of the war, they went in exile, and the country is very stable right now. Everybody wants to come to Liberia and invest their late penny. Everyone wants to come. And you cannot have your funds back in another country when you can enjoy it here in Liberia. So if I come and I do have my original deed, and someone who feels that because over 30, 20 plus years I haven't come to Liberia, so I'm dead, they start to sell the place. They go and manufacture their own thing. That's how it has been in most of these cases. That's exactly how it is. Sometimes you leave a caretaker over your property, and at the end of the day, they gain right and start to usher the area. All we can say is that the Satan issue, the government needs to look into it. And you cannot have over 7,000 of jobless people, homeless, not having shelter. And I think we ourselves, we also need to be able to understand the level and as to how we can be able to, strengthen ourselves and educate ourselves in these kind of land situation, land related issues, and exactly how we have to say it. And that's exactly how we have to say it. Because you cannot every time come on and just have issues upon issues. Issues upon issues upon issues. Yeah. And I'm saying, I'm saying, right? Again, some residents in Catholic community expressing fear that they are also hearing about demolition process in their area. Who knows? Yeah, nobody knows now. So we hold on right there, and we see that Liberia, our country Liberia, is now also on a bid, to put up a candidacy for the African Union, you know, International Cooperation and Economic Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that Abraham Yen has confirmed Liberia candidacy for EU body. So the 48th ordinary session of the African Union scheduled for the 11th and the 12th of February in Addis Ababa. We see Liberia competing with other West African countries for the seat, and but express confidence that the country's sustained diplomatic engagement and campaign effort will produce a positive outcome. So Liberia wants to bid for, the AU Security Council, and that's gonna run up to 2030. And yeah, Madam Sarah Best Loyalty of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is doing an immense job. It's doing an immense job, a very, very great one. And the resort is showing some progress, I must admit. And I think Marayanti and the government now should be able to, with all of the engagements and strengthening bilaterals, should now yield to some meaningful implication on our economy, on the growth of development and progress, youth employment, opportunities for, other countries to bring in their embassy here. It means a lot for us as people. It means a lot for people that wants to be able to explore through traveling. So Madam Yanti is doing a very, very great job at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. A great one with her team, and we hope and pray that they continue to do better to be able to give our country some level of great progress. So again, it's been a great show, and we spoke about things that are really, really relevant and important on the show today. We like to recap on most of those things that we spoke of, and we are about to make this a normal routine as of today's date, which is the first presentation in this month of February. We will bring you, today in history at the end of the show so bring significant things that happen in history and famous birthday of Elizabeth Blackwell, first woman in the United States to receive a medical degree and the first woman on the British Medical Registry. So Elizabeth Blackwell is the first woman in the United States in 1821, February 3rd, 1821. She received, a medical degree and the first woman on the British Medical Registry. And today in history, in 1864, February 3rd, Johannes Gutenberg, inventor of the printing press, revolutionizing communication. So he's the inventor of the printing press, and it was invented on this day. Today in history, in 1451, February 3rd, Sultan Mehmed II inherits the throne of the Ottoman empires, later known as the Conqueror. Today in history, February 3rd, 1509, the Battle of Dul takes place, where the Portuguese Armada defeats a mock Egyptian fleet, establishing Portuguese dominance in the Indian Ocean. That's all we have for today in history, and I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. Lowell, thanks for joining us on the show tonight, and we appreciate all of our viewers for coming through. And let me say a pleasant good night, and thanks to you for following us. My name is William McGill, and you can have a great night from Painesville Hill in Liberia.
I can't stand no more, cause I'm a fool. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. I can't stand no more, cause I'm a fool. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. Hey yo, excuse me Mr. Journalist, I wonder how you make your headlines in the press release today. Although I read the news every day, but I'm really still getting confused now, and I just wanna ask you some questions. Oh.